Hello, Akid. So today I have my new student Akid Anis with me, who is apparently someone who doesn't know anything about IELTS. So I'll be giving him a brief introduction to IELTS and an overview to every module of IELTS. So in the process of doing so, Akid, you can ask me questions if you have any questions. And
Yes, sir.
as you're someone who's new, who knows nothing about IELTS, what interested you in taking IELTS or taking preparation for IELTS?
I want to like the reason I took. I'm trying to
As in,
I
like,
want to
what
try out
inspired
IELTS
you?
is because I want to
Because,
see how good I'm at in English, and
okay,
also like whenever we go abroad, we usually ask you for your IELTS report. So that's why
yeah,
I'm thinking that like a
okay.
future
So,
job.
as you know, or maybe you don't know, let me just. So there are four modules of IELTS. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, I can see.
So four modules of IELTS. So they are listening, reading, writing, speaking. Okay, so there are four modules of IELTS. Okay, so the first module is listening. Let me explain you in details. So in listening, you get 30 minutes of time and you have to answer 40 questions. So at the end of the listening test, they'll be giving you a sheet of paper. You have to transfer all the answers that you answered on the question, and then you have to like transfer them on the answer script on a different sheet of paper.
Mhm.
Okay, so there are 40 questions which you have to answer in 30 minutes, and after that you'll get extra 10 minutes for transferring those questions. So there are four sections in listening. Four sections. Four section. So obviously first of all comes section 1. So section 1 is called form fill up section. Okay, whenever you go to a restaurant, a hotel, or in a fancy place, right? So you always meet someone, you are greeted with someone like a representative, or or what do we call them, like uh, mm, receptionist, right? Someone who works at reception. So
Mhm.
they'll be
Yes, yes.
greeting you, and they'll probably hand you over a registration form of some kind, right? So the section was
Yes, yes.
one is kind of that. You have to fill up a form of a kind. It can be it
Um,
can be a telephone conversation. Maybe you're phoning someone and they're instructing you about something, and you have to fill up this form, right? Maybe you're inquiring about getting a driver's license. So they are telling you, so in order to get a driver's license you have to do this and this, right? So it can be a telephone
mhm.
conversation. My handwriting is so bad. He is running.
And also, it's nice.
Telephone conversation. It can be reception, um, at a receptionist at a restaurant.
So can it be a hotel form
Yeah,
too?
it can be a
Like
hotel
maybe you
form.
want to book
it,
for a
it,
hotel,
it can be any type of
hotel form.
form. Maybe you are going on a hike, and you went to the you went to this like adventure club or something, and they hand you over a form, right?
Mhm.
Receptionist at a
Uh,
restaurant.
So any sort
um,
of form type.
any sort of form, like any sort of form. So let me show you an example. So my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me just share something from here. Present now. Window and the Chrome tab. Window. Is my screen visible? I think so.
Yep, I can see. Yes.
Part 1 questions. Oh, I guess. So can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Is
I
the
can
screen
see.
visible? Okay. So see, customer satisfaction survey. So you maybe the individual went somewhere. So first thing they asked the person is her name or his or her name. So her name is Sophie Bird. Occupation, what he or she works in. Reason for travel. As we said, you can go to a travel agency, right? So reason for
Yes,
travel
sir.
today. There can be any reason, and the reason will be spoken. The reason will be informed, because you will be wearing a headphone, and there'll be the conversation you will hear between two people, and they will give you all the information, right?
Oh.
Name of the station returning to, for example, maybe.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, like we will be listening to a recording, right?
Yeah, you will be
Would I
listening to
be
the
able to
recording.
pull it back and
No,
replay the
you
record?
can't fast forward or rewind. You're not allowed to do that.
Oh, I can only listen to it just once.
Yeah,
I have to
just
listen
once.
to it.
You are allowed to listen to it just once. You cannot touch the soft copy of the audio. You will be given with a headphone and nothing else. Just you have to wear the headphone and listen and write on the question paper. And if you are taking the computer delivered IELTS, you have to do the same thing on a computer, right?
Oh,
You
yes,
have
sir.
to go
Sir, I
through
have
the
another
exam
question,
system. Yeah,
sir.
sure.
Like while they're talking,
Yeah.
if I feel like this mentions something important, can I write a small note?
Yeah, sure. You can write a
Beside-
small note beside the question script. You can write anything you want. Even you can write in Bengali if you want, right? What you transfer to the answer script is important. What you write on the question paper, they're not even gonna see it, right? It's for your own benefit.
Hmm.
Okay,
I
so
can write on the question paper, sir.
yeah, you can write on the question paper anything you want, any note, something you feel important that might help you later, right? Okay, so these are types of questions that come in part 1, section 1. So in section 1, there'll be after completing 4 to 5 questions, there will be a 30-second break, and they'll resume the audio again. So you get 30 seconds of time to think about the next answer. So the thing is, when you are reading this, Akidanis, so first of all, they'll give you like 1 minute to look at the questions, right? So you have to infer the answers. Occupation can be a sort of occupation. Occupation cannot be a bird, right? Occupation cannot be a computer. You know
Yes,
this
sir.
the what sorts of answers cannot be here, right?
Yes.
You know reason for travel today cannot be midterm exam, right?
Yes.
You know what sorts of answers cannot be here. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have to infer the answers. So let me start sharing my screen again on my Mac. Continue. Start broadcast 3, 2, 1. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. I can see.
So, do you have any questions about section 1?
No, sir.
Okay.
No questions.
Let's move on to section 2. We're still in the listening section of IELTS, right? Section
Yes, sir.
2. In section 2, section 2 is really interesting. In section 2, you will be hearing a conversation between two people. There can be 3 people also. So basically, the conversation is about most of the cases it's a radio conversation, right?
It's a what, sir? I
Radio
didn't get-
radio show.
Oh, radio.
Radio show. It can be a radio show. Maybe a guest came to the show and he is talking about a particular thing, right? This can be one sort of thing. Radio show, radio program.
So any interviews also, sir?
Yeah,
Can it be?
can be interviews also. Can be interviews also, but it's rare. It seldom
Yes, sir.
appears. Most of the cases, it's a radio show. In some cases, in extremely rare cases and recent cases, it can be a podcast.
Oh.
It can be a tour of a facility. Maybe you went to this museum, right? And
Yes, sir.
there's this tour guide who's giving you a tour of the whole facility, and you'll be required to answer questions based on the audio description that you're listening to, right? Maybe you went to Liberation War Museum, so the tour
Mhm.
guide is explaining to you, so this is the monument that served this particular purpose, right? So you have to
Yes, sir.
answer questions based on that. There will be MCQ questions, so most of the time there are MCQ questions in part in section 2, MCQ questions. And secondly, so this is the first part of section 2, MCQ questions. um, First part. And in second part, it can be a map or fill up the gaps, fill in the gaps. So these two types of questions can arise in section 2 of IELTS. Do you have any questions? Do you want to
No,
see a
sir.
demo? Okay, let me. No, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, yes, sir. A demo. I want to see a demo.
Okay, sure, sure. No worries. Section 2, listening. Listening IELTS. Okay, so the first three questions are about traffic changes in Grandford. The speaker uh, who's giving a small speech about what are the changes that have been made in the area or the place called Grandford, right? So based
Mhm.
on that, you are required to answer these three questions. For example, why are the changes needed to traffic systems in Grandford? What's the underlying reason? The number of traffic accidents has risen. The amount of traffic on the roads has increased. The types of vehicles on the road have changed. So,
Mhm.
um, one of them will be correct, another two will be wrong. Obviously, you have to
Yes,
infer and you have to um, tick mark the right answer.
yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the part one of section two. In part two, um, so see, can you see a map?
Yes,
This
sir.
can be a map of anything. This can be a map of a facility, a museum, anything, and you have to point out particular the name of particular area. So what is this? What is C called? Right? C can be anything. C
Yes,
can be
sir.
a cafe. What is B? B
Wow.
can be a barn. Right? You have to
Yes, sir.
you have to. If there are options, you can write. If there are options, you can write C beside barn or C beside cafe. And if there are no options, then you have to um, manually write those words.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, so let's move on to section 3.
So, sir, in section 2, it could also be, they could give me a map or I
They
have to
can,
do MCQ.
yes, two types of
Oh,
questions can arrive. They can give you a map, they can give you MCQs, and they can give you fill in the gaps.
oh, okay. Yes,
But
sir.
based on the conversation that you're hearing, based on the conversation about a facility, about a radio show, right, or a
Yes, sir.
podcast, in general, I'm speaking obviously. So in section 3, most of the cases, 95% of the cases, it's teacher student feedback session. Teacher student feedback session or student student conversation. Since majority of the candidates who take the IELTS exam are preparing, are pursuing to go to a different country, are taking the
Yes, sir.
test for an academic purpose. That's why they put some academic related thing in section 2. Am I making sense? Like maybe you're writing a paper, right? You're writing
Yes,
your
sir.
thesis paper. You're talking to your faculty, your professor, and he's giving you some feedback, right? Or you are
Yes, sir.
talking to one of your friends, one of your peers, and he is giving you suggestion or feedback on the paper that you wrote, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
student conversation, teacher student feedback session. So these are the types of questions that arrive. I mean, This is the majority of the time I have seen this only this particular type of questions come in section 3. So let me show you an example. Section 3 IELTS. See which two characters shaped were shared by the subjects of Joanna's psychology study. Right, it's about a study.
Mm.
It's about maybe she studied on this particular subject, then she's writing a paper.
Oh.
In every section there will be two parts. First of all, they're going to speak for a certain amount of time. Maybe they're going to speak for like 3 minutes. Then they're going to give you a 30-second break to look at the other questions, the second half of the
Yeah.
question, and infer those answers. Right,
Oh.
in every section this is going to happen, except for section 4. So section 4 is the most interesting one for me.
Sir, I have a question on section 3.
Sure.
So in section 3, they will give me a recording again, right, sir?
No, the recording will be like, it will keep playing. The recording will never stop. You will be wearing the headphone the whole time. The entirety of 30 minutes, you will be wearing the headphone.
Oh, and I have to do section 1, section 2, section 3.
Yeah. They'll come
Oh.
chronologically. What's the word? Like they'll come
Yes,
one after another.
Oh.
Section 4. So section 4 is interesting. It's like it's a talk most of the time, 99% of the time. It's a talk about a particular thing. It can be a lecture. Lecture. Okay, so are you familiar with TED Talks?
No, sir, I have never listened to any.
But like, have you seen clips of TED Talks?
Yes, sir. They give motivational
Yeah,
speeches.
motivational speeches,
22.
or
Yes, sir.
it can be specialized speeches, like speeches on a particular subject. Like
Yes,
an
sir.
expert is giving a speech on a particular thing, the thing he is an expert on, right? The thing he is expert
Yes,
at.
sir.
So let me show you a sample of section 4.
Quick question, sir.
Sure.
So will they give me recordings of quantum mechanics?
No, they'll not be giving you a recording of quantum mechanics. They'll
Right.
be giving you something general, something
Something like
academic, but something general.
Oh, so it won't be too hard
No,
or
it won't be
technical.
too hard. It won't be too technical. It won't be too hard.
Oh, okay.
Mine was about elephants, the habitats of
Oh.
elephants, how they go around and live their life.
Oh.
Stoicism. So can you see the question?
Yes, sir.
So Stoicism is still relevant today because of its dash appeal. The answer is, I know, it's practical appeal, but obviously you're not going to know the answer when you're actually taking the IELTS test.
sir.
The Stoics' ideas are surprisingly well known, despite not being intended for publication. They'll be saying the word. Don't worry.
Oh.
Okay, so here goes listening.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then comes reading. In reading, there are three passages. Three academic passages. So the first one is the easiest.
I have a question, sir.
Sure.
By academic passages, you mean like excerpts from like
Excerpts
thesis
from
papers?
thesis papers, but
Oh,
in a generalized form. You won't get like traumatized when you see this. You won't get like you will not be spooked by the questions.
oh. So like they will might let me read the abstract or
Yeah,
something, something like
they'll
that.
dumb down the whole thing,
Oh, okay, sir.
and you'll enjoy reading them.
Oh,
Passage one, generally, you were supposed to take 15 minutes for this. So reading is 60 minutes,
yes, sir.
and listening is 40 minutes. As I said, passage one is supposed to take 15 minutes. Passage two, 20 minutes, and passage 3, 25 minutes. Obviously, you can take 25 minutes for the first one, 20 minutes for the second one, and 15 minutes for the third one.
Mm.
It's up to you, but it's recommended that you follow this guideline or this structure, because
Oh, okay.
because the first passage one is the easiest, and
Yes,
this
sir.
one is moderately difficult,
Oh,
and this is the hardest one. So see, there's a reason why people suggest that. So the
Mhm.
types of questions that come in reading are MCQs, small questions like one word answer.
Mm.
Then obviously gap filling. Then true false not given. The most feared one, the one that is feared by everyone. People get confused between false and not given. If the information is not given, they assume that it's false, but it can be true. You don't know that. It's just not given on the question. You don't
Oh, so
know.
like if they haven't mentioned anything
Yeah, they haven't mentioned
about
anything,
it,
but
you
but
just
they
give not
asked you
given.
about it. You cannot write it's
Oh,
false. Even if it's false, you cannot write it.
oh, that's it. If it's not mentioned, not given.
Yeah, if it's not mentioned, then it's not given. And true is straightforward. If it's true, then it's true, right? If the statement is true, then it's true. If the statement is false, if it's directly contradicts what the passage said, then it's false. And
Mhm.
if there is no information given, then it's not given. It's as simple
Mm.
as that. But people will often get confused, like 99% of the time. I mean, you will also get confused between not given and false. Trust me. Even if you think you are
Mm.
not gonna be one of those students who will fall into this trap, but you will eventually.
Right.
Okay, gap filling, true false. Then which passage contains the following information? Which passage contains the following information? You have to write the passage number one. I mean, which paragraph? Paragraph number one,
Mm.
2, 3, 4. You have to write the number A, B, C, D. Right. Then um, appropriate titles. What is it called? Giving titles to passages. Sorry, list of heading. It's had a name. Which
So I didn't
one?
understand the second one, sir.
Huh?
The which pieces contains the following
Information.
like, information. So like, how will the question be? I'm not clear.
For example, scientists from Cambridge discovered this particular thing in 1945. So the information
Okay.
was mentioned in passage 3 or passage C.
Yes, sir.
You have to write C beside it.
So
Okay?
I have to write what, sir?
C beside it. Because the information was mentioned in passage 3. Passage C.
Oh, that's why I have to write C.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll give me excerpts, and from there I have to mention which passage is it from.
Yeah. So there are 3 passages, right, in total, but each passage may contain subsections. Maybe there are
Oh.
8 paragraphs in passage 1, 8 paragraphs titled A to H, right?
Hmm.
So
sir.
maybe they'll ask you a question. They'll give you a statement, and they ask you which passage contains this statement. Do you understand it now?
Yes, sir.
For example, the statement was mentioned in paragraph A, then you have to write A beside it, right next to it. List of headings is easy. So as you know, there can be subsections. So there are like probably 8 different paragraphs in this excerpt. You have to give appropriate headings or titles for those paragraphs. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then comes
So I have
writing.
another question, sir.
Sure, sure.
On the ABCD, like the
Sure.
third one.
Sure.
So like in there, could they give a line like this? Like where you have to infer from it. It's not mentioned
You,
directly.
you don't have to infer from it.
Oh.
The statement will be straightforward. You just have to go through the entire reading passage, and you have to find which paragraph contains the following information.
So it will be exactly, sir, like a quote from it.
Not quote, but a statement, information.
Oh, okay, sir.
I have never seen a quote coming in the exams.
Oh.
Writing is 60 minutes again. So there are 2 types of questions in writing. First one is writing a report. Second is essay. This one is, you were supposed to take 20 minutes for this, because this contains 1/3 of the total band score, and essay you're supposed to take 40 minutes for this, and this is responsible for 2/3 of the band scores. Okay. So this is pretty straightforward. Let me show you a question. Writing task 1. See, can you read the question? The chart below
Yes,
shows
sir.
the changes in 3 different areas of crime in Manchester City Centre from 2003 to 2012. It's 3 different crimes: burglary, car theft, robbery. How the trend of crime changed over time. See, you see a pattern, right? So you have to
Yes,
narrow
sir.
down it. You have to write the information that was given in this question.
Oh.
See, summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and making comparisons very relevant. See, for example, here you see the burglary rate declined, but the card theft remained almost stable, and it increased a little bit in 2010.
Yes, sir.
The number of car thefts is increased, and then it was steady for a moment, then it also increased. And robbery, see, in 2003 it was like this, 2005 like this, then it was stable
Yes,
for
sir.
some time, then again you get the idea, right? You have to use the
Oh.
word stable, declined,
Yes, sir.
decrease, increase,
Or there's a spike.
spike,
Yes, sir.
rose, grew.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So will it always be graphs or will it be something else?
The questions like this can arrive. The graph below shows average carbon dioxide emissions per person in the United Kingdom, Sweden.
Oh.
Okay.
Mhm.
This can be like this: pie charts, Mandarin speakers, Chinese speakers, the percentage of speakers. Probably in university, at a university, this portion of students speak this particular language, right?
Oh.
Consumption of fast food in gram, 300 grams in 1970, in 1975, 200 grams, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me show you task 2, which is essay writing. Can you read the question for me, Akid, and give me
Yes, sir.
what it says?
Write about the following topic. Some people think having a university degree is the best way to secure a good job. However, others believe skills and experience are more important. Discuss both sides and give your opinion.
Okay, so you get the idea, right? So
Yes, sir.
they're not gonna give you an an argumentative question. You have to argue on a certain topic. Here, some people think that having a degree is the best way to secure a good job. Some others disagree. Others don't agree with them. So
Yes, sir.
you might have your own opinion. You have to
Yes, sir.
choose a particular opinion. You have to write why you believe that having a degree is crucial for securing a job. So you have to give
Mm-hmm.
your reasons for that, right? You have to justify your
Yes,
answer. And if the question says discuss both sides and
yes,
give
sir.
your opinion, then you have to discuss both point of views and give your opinion.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
get it?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
I have a question on the
Sure.
writing task one, sir.
Task one. Yeah, sure. What's the
In
question?
task two, we see that there's a word limit,
Task.
like
Yeah.
at least this much.
Yeah.
Is there a word limit for
The
part
limit.
of
Yeah.
song two?
The limit is not actually word limit. You can exceed it, but you cannot write below it. Like you
Below
cannot
it.
write less than 250 words in task two. And for task one, you cannot write less than 150 words. 150
Oh,
words.
okay.
You can write 200 words for task one. You can write
Yes, sir.
350 for task two. So there is
Mm.
no cap. You can like they will not say you're not allowed to write up to 500 words, right?
Mm.
You can write 500 words. Obviously, you are not recommended to do that because you don't have that much time.
Yes, sir.
But you can do that. But you
Yes,
should
sir.
not write less than 250 words.
Yes, sir.
If you wrote 249, maybe they'll like excuse it, but no. But if you write 200 words, obviously you're gonna
Yes,
lose
sir.
some band scores over that for
Yes,
that.
sir.
So then comes speaking. So this is the module most students don't do well because they're too
Mm.
afraid or to speak, and they get really nervous when the when they appear in front of the examiner. So in speaking, there are three parts. In part one, it's basic introduction, and they're gonna ask you on about a general topic. General topic. It can be about friends, family,
Mm.
jewelry, library. Do you go to libraries? How often do you go to libraries? What do you
Mm.
do when you are at a library? Do you study alone at a library or do you study with your friends at a library? These
Mm.
types of questions can arrive in part one. So when I was taking the test, the examiner asked me about headphones. Like, how often do you wear headphones? When was the last
Mm.
time you wore one? Um,
Mm.
and how expensive are your headphones? Are you a headphone guy? Do you have certain preferences for headphones? So you get the idea, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So part two, it's a cue card section. Cue card. Oh, so they'll be giving you a cue card, and you have to speak on that particular topic, right?
Yes, sir.
So when I was taking the test, my topic was describe a famous person you really admire. You have to say these about him or her. Why do you admire her or him? How long have
Mm.
you been a fan of this particular person?
Mm.
What prominent work that this person has done? Right.
Mm.
So cue card option, you have to speak for 2 minutes, at least.
Sir, will there be like lot of cards in front of me
No,
and I
no,
can
no, no,
choose
no,
one?
no, no. You don't have
Only
like
one.
they
One
will
card.
be handing you over one.
So in the card, what will be written, sir?
The questions will be written like describe a famous person you really admire, and
Mm.
when you are describing this person, you have to mention these topics, right? Why do you admire him or her?
Oh, okay, okay.
What particular thing this person has done so that you admire him that much?
Oh,
Is he influential? Is he like what sorts of field he belongs to?
yes, sir.
What are some of the things that he has done for the society? These types of questions can be written on the cue card, and you have to speak for 2 minutes at least, right?
Oh, sir. Like, can I like let's say they give question A, B, C, D. Can I do question A, then B, and
Yes, you
then
can do
D,
that. You can do
then C.
chronological. You can answer C first, then A. Obviously, not they're not gonna title them as A B C D. They'll be like
Hmm.
this. First question is after dash. Okay,
Oh, yes, sir.
you are recommended to follow this pattern, but you can speak as you want. I always tell my
Oh,
students to make up a story. Right.
hmm.
Always I tell them to make up a story
Yes, sir.
because
Oh.
that's the best approach. Because
So,
uh,
like, what do will they give me 5 minutes to prepare, or I have to do on the spot?
they'll give you 1 minute to prepare. Yeah, that's a very
Oh,
good question. They'll give you 1 minute to prepare.
okay.
1 minute to prepare. And you have to write certain keywords in that 1 minute. They'll be giving you a blank sheet of paper and you have to write
Hmm.
keywords. So these are the topics I'm gonna cover now, and I'm writing these. You can write in Bengali if you want. You can write in English
Okay, yes,
if you
sir.
prefer that. I have seen some people who write in Bengali
Hmm.
to speak in the keyword section. It depends on your comfort. Like if you are comfortable in English, then you can write in English.
Yes, sir.
They're not gonna see what you wrote in that paper. Okay. And lastly, part three. Part three is basically based on the answer that you gave in part two. So, for example, in part two, you described a journey that you were required to attend, right? You took a journey from place A to
Hmm.
place B, right? So in part three, they're gonna ask you how often do people go on road trips in your country? Is it
Hmm.
very common? Like, what are the sorts of transportation available for taking road trips? Like, do you have to hire a car, or people prefer their own transportation? These types of
Hmm.
questions can arrive. Um, uh, Maybe in part two, you answered questions about education, right?
Yes, sir.
About your childhood favorite teacher, education related topics. And part three, they can ask you, do teachers play a big role in the in the in upbringing of a person? Um,
Hmm.
how important the role of extracurricular activities, uh,
Hmm.
these types of questions, right? Let me
Yes, sir. So it'll be related to tax too, right, sir?
relative to task 2, part
Oh.
2. um, Let me show you speaking questions. Can you see the questions? So first one
Yes,
is
sir. I can see.
flowers and plants, right?
Yes, sir.
Flowers and plants. Do you have a favorite flower or plant? What kinds of flowers and plants grow near where you live? Is it important for
Oh.
you to have flowers and plants in your home? Have you ever bought
Hmm.
flowers for someone else? See, in
Yes,
part
sir.
2, describe a review you read about a product or service. It's about a review of a product, not the product itself, right?
Hmm. Yes, sir.
About the review of a product that you read and that inspired you to buy that purchase the product. Where you read the review. So these are the questions that I told you about. Where you read the review, what the product or service was, what information the review gave about the product or service, and explain what you did as a result of reading this review, right?
Hmm.
So in part 3C, the questions are related to part 2. See, they asked the candidate about online reviews, right?
Yes, sir.
What kinds of things do people write online reviews about in your country? See, it's always about your country.
Yes, sir. Oh.
Why do some people write online reviews?
Hmm.
Do you think that online reviews are good for both shoppers and companies? Um, and they can ask you like critical questions like, why do some people intentionally write negative reviews? Right.
Hmm.
Customer service. What do you think it might be like to work in a customer service job? It's also related to part two, right? Do you agree that customers are more likely to complain nowadays? How important is it for companies to take all the customer complaints seriously, right? Maybe you wrote about, you read about a review of a product, and probably the product wasn't good. So that in that sense, these questions are also relative, right? Relevant.